The last red showed a supply zone that refused to die, surviving every close above it as a reclaim. That answered half the invalidation question. When should zones stay? This chart answers the other half, the half almost nobody writes about. When should a zone leave? Zones die two ways. They die broken or they die spent. This zone was retired with price still beneath it, and the later advance crossed the former area with no fight at all. The chart opens with an advance running out at a swing high, with a buying that drove the left side was finally overwhelmed. This failure point is the origin, the footprint of the sellers who capped the move, and the anchor the supply zone is drawn from. The origin records a real battle. What this red tracks is how long that record stays relevant, and what its honest end looks like. The zone is marked at the failure point, and its validity span begins, the arrow through the band that advances while the zone lives and freezes where its life ends. From this bar, the chart is tracking not just a level, but a lifetime. A zone's worth is its persistence, and persistence has two honest endings: the market accepting beyond the level, or the level completing its work. This zone span will end the second way. From the zone, price falls hard, a deep, sustained markdown carrying far below the band, the largest single move on the chart to this point. The supply did not merely cap the advance, it reversed it emphatically. A reaction of this size is the zone working, and working for a supply zone means its resting orders are being filled into the decline they caused. Every reaction is drawn from the same finite account. Price bases far below and recovers, and the recovery eventually climbs all the way back to the band, which caps it. The zone's second test passed. The advance stalls at the level and turns away, the supply still defending. The zone is now proven by every standard the earlier reads established, and by the same token, further spent. Both ledgers advance together, and only one is visible in price. The recovery regroups and presses the band one more time, and is rejected sharply again, price turning down hard from the zone's edge. Another test, another defense, another emphatic reaction away from the level. It is the zone's last act. Everything the level was built from has now been expressed. The originating battle, the deep markdown, and two defended retests, each paid for from the same resting supply. Following the final rejection, the validity span stops advancing. The arrow freezes, and the zone's life is closed, not because price broke it, but because the zone had delivered its reactions in full. Retired as spent, the record preserved, its active status honestly ended, with price still trading below the band. This is the retirement half of invalidation logic, the half a simple close-through rule cannot express at all. Look at the chart immediately after the retirement. The area where the zone lived is now just price history. No active band, no standing ceiling, no reference demanding respect. The chart has forgotten the level at the moment. Forgetting became the accurate thing to do. A level's meaning is its resting orders. When those have been consumed across a life of reactions, the honest representation of that region is nothing. Price pulls back and builds a base below the former area, and the read of that base is clean. There is no ghost zone overhead to frame the structure as trapped beneath supply, because the chart is no longer asserting that supply exists there. Had the spent zone remained active, the base would read as compression under a ceiling and the coming advance as a challenge to standing supply, framings built on a level that had already given everything. The move that follows resolves the point. A powerful advance drives up and straight through the region the zone once occupied. No stall, no fight, no reaction at the former band. Under a stale zone chart, this candle would look like a dramatic break of supply. In truth, nothing was broken. The supply had been spent across the zone's lifetime, and the advance simply traveled through clear ground. The advance extends on the heaviest volume of the chart's right side, carrying to new highs well above everything the old zone once capped. The pair of reads closes here. The previous chart showed the engine holding a zone through every fake close. Persistence when persistence was honest. This chart shows the same engine ending a zone's life with price still beneath it. Retirement when retirement was honest. One engine, two opposite endings, each matched to what the market actually did. 3 things to carry from this chart. First, zones die 2 ways, broken or spent, and most charts only model the first. A spent zone passed every test until there was nothing left to test with, and an approach with no concept of finish carries it as live resistance long after the resistance is gone. Second, stale zones are not neutral clutter. They are wrong claims, and every later read inherits the error. And third, honest memory means endings in both directions. Levels stay exactly as long as they mean something, and not 1 bar longer. If reading charts this way is useful to you, subscribe to SMC Chart Sense for a new chart read every week. That's the best way to keep these in your feed.